Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the debate between MCtoon and I have just woke up because I had to take a nap. So you see, I have really been preparing. Let's go all the way up, see what we got here. Hey, everyone. Love. Thanks for joining. All right. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of see how this goes. I've never used StreamYards with someone else on it, but I'm thinking maybe everybody can hear me, and then we'll add him in to see how it goes. Yeah, you can tell I just woke up. But yeah, this should be interesting. I know he's got his little intro he plays, and then I'm gonna add him in. What's up, my dude? Awesome. Thank you for the feedback. Will do. No, I'm certainly not stoned. I just fell asleep. What's up, bro? Love. See if I gotta. Let's see. I'll be right just a second. All right. Oh, we mean business now. We got the hat. Yeah, my bad. I was super tired, bro. I fell asleep and I just woke up like maybe 10 minutes ago. What's up, bro? Will do. All right, so I'm about to add him in here and we'll get started.
He has, there it is. All right, I can see you, Austin. I can't hear you yet.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. Oh, it's only in, you're only in that ear. Maybe it's my Bluetooth. So, all right. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I'm great. So did you introduce stuff and we're all ready to go?
Yeah, sure, man. I just let them know we were about to get started.
All right, good. So Planar Walk actually is going to be moderating, and so
ahoy hoy.
Yeah, why don't we hand it to you and introduce a little bit?
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to be moderating. We're going to start with a introduction. I've been notified that it's not going to be a timed introduction and opening statements. If you guys get stuck on a topic, I'll go ahead and say, hey, just say you've been on a topic for half an hour and it's going nowhere, or maybe even 20 minutes and it's going nowhere. I'll say, hey, do you want to change topic? And yeah, so how about we get into it? Who wants to go first?
So yeah, introductions and overviews with not presentation of evidence, right?
Right.
So you want to start, Austin, or should I?
I don't care, man. I'll start. It's pretty simple. All observable reality shows us that this Earth is not a globe, right? So we come from the stance of we prefer observation, not mathematical, theoretical nonsense and conceptual abstractions that require presuppositions. So what it comes down to is, I do not know exactly what the Earth is. I don't adhere to some definitive model. Simply, I am saying the Earth is not a magic spinning ball, right? It's certainly not what it is claimed to be. And so, yeah, I just come from this from an observation first, actual proof viewpoint. There's a list of reasons for this we can get into, of course. And yeah, so the way I view it is, man, you're making a positive claim about what the Earth is. He claims to know exactly what it is. And so, you know, if you cannot substantiate this model you claim to adhere to, then it isn't real. That's all I got.
All right, cool. Well, yes, the all evidence points to the Earth being a big old sphere. Little flatter, little squished on the top. And I use science, and I do love it when flat earthers deny science, because that just shows that it's just faith, I guess, and religious claims, and not logic, reasoning, inductive reasoning, deductive reasoning, critical thinking. That goes out the window, I guess, if you're going to deny science. And I love it. I love when that happens. So I do have here with me a tab. We got a tab there, but the official, let's see, the sanctioned right there, Globebusters map. And because you're a Globebuster now, I got a little mini version for it for you too here. Based on the video that was on the channel, the Globebusters channel last year, talking about the Gleason's map and how brilliant it is, and how there's 60 nautical miles between each line of longitude, which means this is your map. So good for that. I was going to try to get Bob Nodell to sign my copy when I was at the conference in Texas, but I didn't catch him. So there you go. There's my, that's what I got. So planar walk.
Okay. So that's opening statements and introductions done. Just making sure.
Yes.
Or is it okay? So we'll go into open discussion. Who wants to start things off?
I got it. So you said that the audio was working, bro, but apparently you weren't listening, right? So I'll repeat myself. I do not claim a definitive model of the Earth. So any of your attempts to, you know, inadvertently undermine some presupposed model that I have is disingenuous and it is not intellectually honest. So let's just get into your religious belief, which ironically you used that term somehow. Okay, so let's just start with the basics here. You think that the Earth is this magical spinning ball. So MCtoon, can you in any way substantiate the claim of axial rotation?
Yes, I can. If you just go to mctoon.net/spin. I'll put it in my chat here, and maybe one of your mods on your side would put it into yours. There is, I think it's 15 different peer-reviewed studies measuring Earth's rotation using, hold on, I'm bringing it up here, using several different techniques, not just one, but I think about 6 different techniques to measure the rotation of the Earth. And they all measure the same. It's great how much in sync they are, considering that they are different techniques. So, for example, there is one called Sensing Earth's Rotation with a Helium Neon Ring Laser operating at 1.15 micrometers. They successfully obtained unlocked rotation sensing using a large helium neon ring laser gyroscope in the infrared regime rate based on the Earth's rotation alone. That's a nice one. Now, another one is really good. They actually measured the Chandler wobble of the Earth, which is about a 400-day wobble of the Earth using a very large optical interferometer. But if you go down, there's other ones. There's one that's called Detecting the Earth's Rotation using Superfluid Phase Coherence. So they use actually a liquid helium in a small circular, or I think it's a squarish container, and they measured the rotation of the Earth in there, because when it's superfluid, the helium has no friction. So that's another one. There's a mechanical yaw rate gyroscope, which is mechanical. It's not optical. Let's see. There's a really cool one from 1905. Yep, called an apparatus for measuring the speed of rotation of the Earth, and it uses two 50-centimeter diameter spinning discs, each weighing 30 kilograms, so 60 kilograms spinning mass at 2,400 RPM. And that was that measured the same thing. It was suspended by a wire. So all of those and a few others, so you can peruse it.
Okay, MCtoon, if you have to presuppose the aspects of your religion, that's called begging the question. And
what was presupposed?
All of these are going to presuppose the shape. You're also
hold on. No, specifically, what is it presupposing? So I can address your
the gyroscope
claim of presupposition.
The gyroscope is presupposing the nature of light. Okay, presupposing your frame of reference, and the last thing you just acknowledged, doesn't have an inertial frame of reference. Okay, so you're saying gyroscope and Foucault's pendulum, as far as I can tell. I don't even know.
I didn't say Foucault's pendulum.
Yeah, the last thing you described is the same problem as Foucault's pendulum. You do not have an inertial frame of reference. Oh.
You don't need to strawman me. I did not mention a pendulum. I mentioned a spinning disc.
No, you said something was hanging?
Hanging from a wire, yes.
Okay, where's the wire coming from?
It's connected to a gimbal at the top.
Where's the gimbal connected to?
The gimbal is connected to the apparatus to hold it up.
Okay, what's the apparatus connected to, MCtoon?
I don't. Could you just get to your point?
I already did. You just weren't listening. There isn't an independent frame of reference.
Yeah, the gimbal allows it to rotate freely.
Okay, it's connected to something connected to the Earth, MCtoon?
It's allowed to rotate freely.
Okay.
So that doesn't negate the somehow that it's functioning and twisting freely. So
yes, it does not have an independent frame of reference, MCtoon.
Yeah, the gimbal allows that.
No, it doesn't.
Could you maybe substantiate the claim that a gimbal prevents rotation somehow?
I don't have to substantiate the fact that if something's connected to the Earth, it's still connected to the Earth.
It's not connected to the Earth in as much that it's allowed to rotate freely.
Okay, whatever the gimbal's connected to is connected to the Earth. There is no independent frame of reference, MCtoon.
I don't really care for your words and semantics there. It's allowed to rotate. So since it's spinning and it's attempting to stay rigid in three-dimensional space, and the gimbal allows it to rotate when it wants to rotate, it rotates when the Earth rotates. Actually, the Earth rotates and it stays still, so it spins. So now, if you're going to try to disprove that or dismiss that, I would ask how it is that it's rotating.
Okay, I don't think you seem to be understanding. There isn't an independent frame of reference. This is apparently going over your head.
The gimbal allows it to be an independent frame of reference.
Okay, MCtoon, this is going nowhere, bro. All the listeners know what I just said. So there's got to be an inertial frame of reference, independent frame of reference. If it's attached to the Earth, that is not the case. Axial rotation has never been substantiated. This is objective.
All right, so thank you for dismissing evidence. I love it when flat earthers do that because here's what happened a couple days ago.
I addressed it.
You did. A couple days ago, somebody said, when you double down in the face of contradictory evidence and you cannot rebuttal the evidence, you're exposing the flaw in your side.
The irony in that statement, my man. But we're going to see how much you do this. Okay, so axial rotation has not been substantiated. We can just move on. MCtoon, can you substantiate the claim of curvature?
Absolutely.
Let's hear it.
MCtoon.net/R is 5 rigorous and detailed measurements of the radius of the Earth.
The rigorous, huh?
Rigorous, yes.
Okay, what's the radius of the Earth, MCtoon?
The radius of the Earth, 6,376,690 meters, according to Sir George Everest.
Okay, what's the radius in miles, MCtoon?
In miles. I have it in meters. So
okay, 3,959 miles is the radius of your religion. Do you know the circumference of the religion you adhere to?
About 24. So I do appreciate that you are going with the ad homs already. it does weaken your position. So thank you for
your opening statement. You referred to me being religious, which is ironic, and you just now talked about me double downing in the face of contradictory evidence, which is what your entire stance does, MCtoon.
Yeah,
I've only reiterated your behavior.
So 5 rigorous and detailed measurements of the Earth's radius.
No one cares about your adjectives, man. Can you explain how you can substantiate curvature? Because you're making a positive claim there's curvature on Earth. We need proof.
Well, let's see. You can go to see it. You can go to mctoon.net/curve. Let's do that because you can see some nice ones. The very first one there is a horizon dip measured from Maine. So if the Earth is a sphere, then anywhere you go, the horizon must dip, right? It must never rise to eye level. Eye level would be the geometric horizon for a flat Earth, and a dip would be the geometric horizon for a spherical Earth. So the horizon dip has been measured many times, and here's one here you can actually see. If I could share my screen, you think that'd work?
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly how to do it, but is there a way? Can you see from your end a way that you could do it?
Let's see. There it is. So, all right. So that looks like you can see what I've shared. There you go.
Okay, let me edit.
I do like this. Is a pretty nice app. I like StreamYard here. So, all right. So here is a theodolite that has been leveled and is pointing straight ahead. You can see the 90-0 at the top there. So that is at eye level, and you can see the horizon did not make it up there. To make sure that the theodolite isn't suffering from collimation errors, he flips the face of it and flips the theodolite telescope the other way. And then you can see it says 270-0-0. So that's the opposite direction. You can see again that the horizon did not rise. So then he turns it down and he measures the dip of the horizon there, and it's about 7 arc minutes. He did that 20 times, 10 in each face. And he got a mean zenith angle of 90 degrees, 7 arc minutes, 39 arc seconds, meaning that the horizon dipped that much. And when doing the math there, using the Al-Burundi method, it works out to be the radius of the Earth when you account for refraction, because you cannot skip conflating variables. You need to take them into account. So there is one.
Let's not just move on. Let's take this. Let's handle. Okay, so you're claiming that this is proving the curvature of the Earth, right?
I'm claiming that it's evidence for the curvature of the Earth.
Right, because science doesn't prove things.
Correct, because that is a logical fallacy.
Okay, maybe in the religion world, but science proves things. But nevertheless, here, is this going to be the same every time this observation is done, MCtoon?
If you account for refraction, then it is within a margin of error.
Okay, so you're accounting for refraction and then factoring that into the observation of your physical geometric horizon.
Yeah.
Right, based on the geometry of your Earth, right?
Yes.
Okay, why do we see the horizon rise at 128,000 feet if this is supposed to somehow prove to me that there's curvature at such a low altitude?
Well, we don't.
Okay, so this is the best evidence you have for curvature?
No, this is one.
Okay, well, let me just
say,
the reason this does not suffice is because, of course, the horizon's apparent. This is not going to be a consistent observation, and we all know it.
So do you have some conflicting evidence then?
I didn't do your experiment or attempt to prove.
Okay, so if you're gonna try to dismiss this evidence, I would expect that you'd come up with something other than just waving your hands and saying I don't like it.
No, right? I'm not. I'm explaining that this picture doesn't prove curvature.
Of course it doesn't. It's evidence for curvature.
It's hilarious that your religion can never have any proof. How convenient, man. So okay, is this going to be the same every day I go out and do it, MCtoon?
Yes, it will not rise to eye level.
Okay, so you know that this horizon picture on this same location, based on different refractive indexes, based on different conditions, will never vary where this horizon is right now?
It will vary every day, of course.
Okay, but it'll never rise.
It will never get too high. Now, of course, there is, because there are sometimes extreme conditions, but what happens is when you do a measurement from higher up, you get away from the extreme refraction conditions that happen near the surface. What was his elevation? He's a couple hundred feet up, I think. It's on a rise above the water. So once you get high enough, then you won't have any chance of having the refraction extreme enough. So, do you have anything to refute this, or is it just it's going to change every day? And so
well, that's just what happens, MCtoon. It's going to change based on different refractive input variables,
Sure.
right? So this is provable. Okay, so I don't know if you know how much you know about refraction, but we'll get to that. So if you think this is not demonstrating or measuring a definitive curve, it's not substantiating a geometric horizon based on your imposed radius. So if you would like to move on,
I mean, you're just saying that it's not, but you are not presenting evidence that it's not.
Do you think that I have just coincidentally compiled 365 days of a year footage of this same location that you're proposing, MCtoon?
That would not be necessary. See, what this includes is it includes already addressing the refraction. It's already been included in the controls of this observation.
Okay. Are you not understanding my rebuttal, bro?
I think you're not actually making a rebuttal. I think you're just saying, I don't like it and it's going to change, so I'm going to just wave it away. But you don't have actually any evidence to refute this.
Yeah, well, no, MCtoon, what I'm saying, bro, is that one image is not going to prove a physical geometric horizon, hence the fact that it is a horizon and it fluctuates daily based on conditions.
Sure. And because this is taken from a high elevation, the variations are very slight, right?
Okay, that sounds like an assumption that's still disregarding my point.
That's not an assumption. If you want, I can bring up the scientific measurements substantiating the different refractive conditions at different elevations.
Okay, MCtoon, is this the best that you have to prove curvature, or do you have something better?
If you want, we can go to more.
Please.
So go back. We've got the horizon dip measured from New Zealand. That'll make sure that it's repeatable, right? So the guy did this from New Zealand. Now, he didn't do it from one place 20 times. He did it from, I think, about 15 different places here at different elevations. He actually used, these are specifically geodetic survey markers in New Zealand. So there's this CV3R. You can look this up yourself, 29 meters elevation. And then the dip was 0.16575 degrees. Then he went to all these different locations, including then this last one at 479 meters elevation, where the dip was 0.6558 degrees. You can see this chart here. He charted that out and accounted for refraction using the Gaussian 0.133 coefficient of refraction. And it matched the radius of the Earth that's been previously measured.
Oh, how was that done?
How was it done? Well, that was the first one, the radius of the Earth measured in those 5 different studies that I showed you.
I thought you were showing me the movement of the Earth.
The first one, that was the radius of the Earth, MCtoon.net/R, not MCtoon.net/spin.
Okay, I'm just sitting here listening. I'm not going and looking at your website, bro.
That's fine. That's fine. Denying evidence is great for you guys. So
okay, bro.
Right. So we've got here another one. So do you want another?
You have a moderator. Okay, look, listen, man. If you say something, you have to allow me to present a rebuttal. Okay, do not just transition into something else. Okay, I said in my opening that something that requires a presupposition of your model is a fallacy. Are you familiar with begging the question fallacy?
Sure. And as soon as, and make sure that you clearly state the presupposition so that I can address it.
Sure. Okay. You're presupposing your ball Earth, MCtoon.
No, I'm not actually. I'm making a hypothesis saying if the Earth is a ball. That's not a presupposition. That's
okay. Okay.
That's how science works. If you don't like science, that's fine with me, because denying science doesn't do well for you guys.
So are you? Is that
You deny science? So a hypothesis is stated generally as an if-then statement. It comes in as a logical statement too. If one thing, then another thing. If P, then Q, right? And then you test it to see if it happens. And so then you have two possible outcomes: Q, and then P is supported. It is still possible, or not Q, which means that P is not supported. So if
modus tollens.
Yeah, exactly, and modus tollens. So if the Earth is a sphere, the horizon will not rise to eye level. The horizon does not rise to eye level, therefore, it still is likely possible to be a sphere. Then we can do the opposite. If the Earth is flat, the horizon must always rise to eye level. The horizon does not rise to eye level. Therefore, the Earth is not flat.
Okay, so I was gonna hold off on this, man, but you're just making it impossible. So I'm just gonna offer up the rebuttal. You've pretty much already laid the groundwork for you to not be able to move on from this. So you are, to clarify, you are saying that the Earth has a physical geometric horizon, okay, and you derive that from the radius imposed of the sphericity of Earth. Is this correct?
Well, the radius has been measured. So it's not a presupposition. It's based on a measurement. The geometric horizon is different from the apparent horizon. So we can calculate where the geometric horizon is, and that's a simple geometry thing. The apparent horizon is much more complicated because refraction is an issue. So you need to do things to control refraction, right? And if you don't control refraction, then that reduces the quality of your observations and often can make it so that you can draw no conclusions from it.
Okay, I'm going to ask it a little more pointed, maybe. So according to your model, would you agree that there has to always be a physical geometric horizon?
A geometric horizon is not what we see. So yeah, there is always a physical geometric horizon, but we do not ever see it.
Can you explain to all the viewers that don't seem to understand how there could be a physical drop-off in land and it not be visible?
Well, there is a visible horizon, and it's a different than the physical horizon because of refraction. Refraction affects what we see.
So
what you're saying on the screen here, on the screen here, we see the apparent horizon. And it's
okay. Yeah, you're preaching to the choir, brother. You're preaching to the choir, bro. I know apparent horizons are all there are. Okay, so are you saying that the only horizon that will ever be visible is the apparent horizon, and that your mystical geometric horizon will not be perceivable?
We can't see it because the refraction affects our visibility of it.
It makes it disappear.
It makes it so that it's in a different place because refraction bends the light, so we see farther or shorter, typically farther than what the geometric horizon is.
So how would it disappear if it's a physical location?
I've not ever seen it disappear.
I've never seen it exist, MCtoon.
You're looking at it on the screen right now.
You just said this was an apparent horizon.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. That isn't geometric.
Yeah, the geometric horizon is it's a physical thing based on the geometry. So you're getting confused on that, and you're going down this line of
I'm not the one that's confused, MCtoon. I know exactly what I'm talking about, and you seem to be shucking and jiving. You're pretty bright, so you're being dishonest. Okay, I'm going to break it down for the viewer, and then we're going to hear you respond. Okay, there's a radius that you imposed on the Earth based on your religious belief of it. Okay?
No, I will not take that. I will not take that insult. You do not get to make that ad hom. That is a measured radius. Not a religious thing.
Okay.
It's measured.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm sure there's no presuppositions required to deduce the radius of the Earth. But look, just to save time and here, less shucking and jiving because it's exhausting, bro. We're going to go with your model, okay? And we're going to say the radius is 3,959 miles deduced from the circumference, which is 24,901 miles. Do we agree?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to present something now, bro. So, McToon, are you familiar with swans?
Yeah, get to it.
Okay. So, do you see this picture here, McToon?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Okay, so I'm sure you've seen this, right? This is the black swan as it has been coined. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay, so this observation was taken at 1 foot observer height, right? Okay, now if you factor in the observer height with the radius to deduce the geometric horizon, it will be at roughly 1.2 miles. Okay, in this image, they've given you 5 feet, which it was actually at 1 foot, and the geometric horizon would be at 2.73 miles. Okay, now we see that there is not a physical geometric horizon in between us and these oil rigs, for example, at 6 miles and 9 miles, but there's actually a horizon behind it. Can you explain where the geometric horizon is, McToon?
Well, we don't see the geometric horizon, so I'm not going to address the geometric horizon. I will address the apparent horizon, though, because that's what we see.
No. You cannot just dismiss the geometric horizon because it has to be there for the Earth to be
addressed that and said very clearly multiple times, we do not see the geometric horizon, we see the apparent horizon. The apparent horizon is affected by refraction. The geometric horizon we cannot see because the refraction messes with it, modifies where it is. So I said that earlier, and you're still demanding that I talk about the geometric horizon. There is no geometric horizon that's visible.
Okay, wait. So
if you're this,
please, stop interrupting me, man. I'm letting you shill, dude. Let me talk back. Okay, so your model claims based on the geometry of the shape of the Earth that there's a physical, tangible, literal geometric horizon in which the land drops off and down and away from you. Is this correct?
There is a physical. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And you're saying it's never visible and only apparent horizons are visible.
Correct. What I've been saying. So we're repeating here. Come on.
Yeah, but it isn't a sufficient answer, McToon. You don't seem to understand that, right? If the Earth is a ball, if it's a spherical object that with a physical geometric horizon, you cannot simply say, we don't see it. That is not sufficient, okay? There has to be a visible, physical horizon. There can be a slight fluctuation into it. So I'm going to ask point blank, again, 1 foot observer height. It should be 1.2 miles to the geometric horizon. All the oil rigs are is a frame of reference of distance. We can see clearly there is a horizon far beyond the 9-mile structure. Can you explain to me what's going on in the image and how it can coincide with your ball Earth?
Sure. That is the apparent horizon. It is affected by refraction. This observation did nothing to control for refraction, but fortunately, people have already done experiments and measurements to measure what kind of refraction happens over water close to it. So since the observer here didn't care to control for refraction, we just have to go to something else, right? So in 2003.
Wait, no.
I'm addressing what you asked me to address. What's the visible horizon?
No, I asked you to address the evidence presented, bro. You just tried to completely dismiss it.
Well, there is refraction happening. So if you're just like, why? Then I'll just say there's refraction. We don't know how much because
okay. What are the 5 types of refraction, McToon?
Refraction is refraction. I don't need to.
That isn't true. That isn't true.
I don't need to tell you the different categorizations of it.
Yes, actually, you do. This is your claim.
Yes, it's my claim. My claim is not this is a particular category of refraction. I'm saying the refraction is happening here. And you can see that. Bring that image back up again.
Okay.
So you can see over on the left side, the crane that's sticking out on the left side of that platform is extremely refracted, right? We know for sure there is strong and aggressive refraction effects happening there, right? Because that crane arm is not straight.
What is your point, bro? We're not
point
talking
is,
about the structures.
Aggressive refraction is happening. So that's evidence that there's a lot of refraction happening. So when there's lots of refraction happening and you've not controlled for that, then what can we conclude? Nothing, because we don't know how much refraction is happening. But we do know that it is possible to have enough refraction that the ray of light bends at the same rate as the radius of the Earth. That's been measured.
MCtoon, bro.
Yes, bro.
Can you level out here, because you can have your little sarcastic comments, but I don't know what you think the third party viewer is thinking right now. So I'm going to ask again. You're attempting a subtle hand wave dismissal. That does not work in an intellectual forum.
I'm ready to bring up the actual evidence if you want to.
Maybe I'll ask the question in elementary terms, MCtoon. There has to be a physical horizon here. It isn't visible. There is an apparent horizon visible beyond the structures at 9 miles. You're talking about refraction that you can see on the structures. The structure's not the argument, MCtoon. It is the horizon being visible far beyond the structures.
So I'm showing my screen. You wanna put that on?
Sure, man.
All right, so this is from a study done by Kabashi in Germany. And they used reciprocal zenith angles. So they took two theodolites and they pointed them at each other, and they have a light on each theodolite. And so each time frame, for like 5 minutes, they measure the angle to each other in order to see that light, right? So it's measuring how much up and down is being refracted. This is 5 meters over water, right? 5 meters high over water. And this is then the horizontal axis is time, right? So we've got and then this it goes up to 2 here on the left side. You can see it goes up to 2 at 3 o'clock, right? So that's the refraction coefficient is the vertical axis, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, up to 17. So this is a coefficient of refraction of 2, means that the ray of light is bending at the same radius as the Earth, which means that you can see indefinitely far. Now that doesn't always happen because different areas of the water will have different refractive coefficients of refraction. But you can see here, it reached 2, which means you can see indefinitely far. This is a measurement that happened. People have measured this to happen many times. It is empirical. It is observational. It happens. So since we don't know what happened in that particular image, we can say, well, it could be any amount of refraction. And it apparently is a lot of refraction because those things have big artifacts on them. So there you go.
We don't know. That was a whole long way of not answering the question, MCtoon. So I'm going to ask you again, bro. Well, here we go. Where is the physical horizon necessitated by your religious belief of the spherical Earth?
Again, the physical horizon is not visible. So I'm not going to answer where the physical horizon is. I will answer where the visible horizon is.
Okay, so are you conceding that there isn't a physical geometric horizon in the image?
We went over this again. You're on loop. I already
because you're not answering. You're causing the loop, my friend.
See the physical horizon or the geometric horizon. We see the apparent horizon.
So there is a horizon here that should be creating 60 feet of bulge prior to the structures, but we just don't see it because why?
Refraction.
Okay, now what are the 5 types of refraction, and can you specify what type of refraction is causing that to
This
happen?
looks to me like a coefficient of refraction of 2 or more.
That is not a type of refraction.
I don't care.
Well, it doesn't really matter if you care, MCtoon. Of course you don't care, because this is a death blow to your model, bro. You don't live on a ball.
Hold up. Well, I'm just going to interject here. I think that it would be a good idea in order to move the conversation forward if we do answer this question here.
I'm sure that you do think that, bro, but I have debated MCtoon once, and he did that every time. So that's not how this is going to work, okay? He has to address and specify his claim for the evidence that is being presented against his model, okay? So he's got to answer the question. Refraction is not the entirety of the answer. Do I need to provide a source to explain refraction? Because it's your claim, MCtoon. So can you tell us exactly what type of refraction is and how it applies to this image and how it explains it?
It is downward refraction matching the radius of the Earth at times.
What? Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not trying. Okay.
So I have presented to you empirical measured evidence of refraction happening at that rate over water. Similar conditions, and you laugh about it because you don't like it, because it contradicts what you really want it to be true, but it's not. I'm sorry. Refraction happens. It's been measured. Now, maybe you have some measurements of refraction over water to contradict this, or maybe you want to take some time and look at this study and find some flaws in the methodology. Fine. MCtoon.net/refraction, right? Go ahead, look that up.
I'm getting a little upset, bro. I understand that your religion's being dismantled live time, bro, but it's okay. All right, I see you getting flustered here, and I know you're trying to divert.
You brought laughing and mocking.
I'm sorry, I try not to laugh, bro, but I've sat here patiently listening to you just divert, okay? And so it made me laugh.
Directly addressing it with empirical measurements that you don't like.
You're changing away from the evidence. Is called diversion. You're trying to show me some little magical graph you have over here. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about
the magical graph. It's an empirical measurement.
It isn't about this image, is it?
No, but your image lacks controls. So lacking the controls, I brought in some third-party controls that we can use to try to understand what's going on.
No, you're trying to divert. The controlled variable here is the observer height. Okay.
Yes, but you did not control for refraction. There's nothing in this observation that addresses the refraction.
MCtoon, are you familiar with what flat earthers' position is on the horizon? We say that it's apparent, okay? Your belief is that there's a physical horizon. So you're telling us about the refraction, isn't it?
And I understand how it would work in both ways. If it were flat, the horizon would always rise to eye level, and it would typically be higher because of refraction, and it would be kind of blurry because it would fade off into too much distance.
Okay, so I'm going to clarify because you're using wizardry. You are having to say that the geometric horizon is there, but we don't see it, and some type of refraction is causing it to go all the way back behind the structures at 9 miles. Is that your claim?
Absolutely. That's completely correct, and that's backed up by empirical evidence.
Okay, what type of refraction is causing that to happen, MCtoon?
I would say that is a coefficient of refraction of 2 or more.
That isn't a type of refraction.
Care to categorize the refraction.
So you don't even understand your own claim.
If you want to categorize it, you go ahead and put it into whatever category you want. I don't care for the categories. I care for the actual empirical measurement that a coefficient of refraction of 2.0 or higher, which happens over water often, can cause indefinite distance.
So it's causing the physical horizon to go behind the structures and disappear.
Apparent horizon, yes.
Oh, so the horizon's apparent.
I've said that over and over again. Did you forget that? The apparent horizon is all that we get to see.
This is painful, bro. So, okay, this is a new one. What you're saying is, as a globe earther, that you never see the geometric horizon.
I don't know why you keep asking the same question over and over. No,
Because you keep ducking them.
We see the apparent horizon. We don't see the geometric horizon because refraction modifies our view of everything. If there were no air and nothing else to affect the path of light, then yes, the apparent horizon and the geometric horizon would be the same.
Okay, I'm not letting the wizardry go, okay, because I did the first time we debated. So I'm putting your feet to the fire. This is my stream. I don't have to do this. Okay, if you're not going to be intellectually honest, then I'm not going to sit here and let you and your friend control the dictation of the way that this goes. I'm presenting the first thing I've presented. I've let you shuck and jive and tiptoe around with your wizardry. Now I'm offering an observation, right? This is what science is, right? We take observable phenomena. Okay, here's the observation, MCtoon. Okay, now I'm well aware that you would prefer that I just accept your explanation as a broad assertion of refraction, but that is not sufficient. There are different types of refraction. You have to explain to me how it's causing the illusion of the horizon and removing the geometric horizon. It doesn't matter what you say about it. It doesn't matter if you don't like it. Of course you don't like it. This is lifetime dismantling your religion, but it is objective that you are going to have to explain how refraction is causing the horizon to disappear, then reappear in the distance. What type of refraction is making that happen? It's a brand new anomaly. Please explain. Thousands of people are waiting.
It is a coefficient of refraction of 2.0 or higher.
Okay, so basically I guess we're just gonna have to accept this as a concession because you're gonna keep doing it, you know? Like
I've given you empirical measurements that coefficient of refraction 2.0 or higher happens over water. The 2.0 coefficient of refraction causes the light ray to bend at the same radius as the Earth. It allows us to see indefinitely far over the Earth. And you're trying to demand that I somehow categorize it. You can put it into whatever category you want. I don't need to. It is simply downward refraction, and it's matching the radius of the Earth or more in order to see that far.
It's downward refraction. Okay,
Correct.
so are you not familiar with the 5 types of refraction, MCtoon? Because this is your thing.
I don't really. If you want to categorize them, you go ahead and you put it into whatever category you think it needs to be in. Right? Go ahead and do that. I don't care for that.
Of course you don't care for it, bro, but it's your claim. You're claiming this, bro.
I didn't claim that it was one of 5 categories of refraction.
That is the consensus of what refraction is.
Oh, consensus is important to you now?
Oh, so
tell me about consensus.
So now you're postulating a new interpretation of refraction for the whole world?
Not at all. I'm going based on empirical measurements, like the one by Kabashi here.
Stop diverting. Stop diverting. Stop it, bro. Everyone can see what you're doing, bro. You're diverting.
I'm just gonna interject here and say that it would be, to move the conversation forward, it would be good to have the 5 types of refraction defined, and then we can see if that's relevant to the conversation.
I agree with that. So I'll just go ahead and do it since this is your explanation, but you
don't strawman me. Those categories are not my explanation.
Okay, so this doesn't matter. This is the interpretation of the different types of refraction known to man. Okay, so this is refraction.
Go ahead, go with the straw man.
Okay, so are you dismissing are you disputing the interpretation of refraction around the world?
No, I'm going based on experts in refraction, like Ismail Kabashi, who measured that over water we can have a coefficient of refraction of 2 or higher.
Okay, MCtoon, I'm just going to read it, bro. So there are 5 types of refraction. Okay, we got mirage, we got looming, we got sinking, towering, and stooping. Which one of those types of refraction, which is not debatable, no matter how much you want to shuck and jive around it, is being applied to your explanation for the black swan, MCtoon?
I don't know why you think that you need to demand that I categorize it. If you want a category, you go ahead, but that's not my claim. That's a straw man. The refraction effects that are happening are quantified and known. So, but of course, the observation you have, they didn't do anything to control the variables there. So you don't know. You have no clue. It's a totally uncontrolled experiment or observation. It's not even an experiment. It's an uncontrolled observation. You don't know how much refraction is happening. There's no temperature taken anywhere. You don't know the lapse rate. You don't know anything there because it was pretty lazy.
This is exhausting, bro. So
can we just I just want to interject with because I'm not sure that this is relevant. If Austin can explain how it's relevant, then we can, you know.
Sure. It's very simple. What I am presenting is an observation. I'll just break it all the way down, MCtoon. From what we do here is we know that the observer height is 1 foot. Okay, you take the observer height based with the radius of the spherical Earth that you are claiming. Okay, and then you can deduce the geometric horizon. Right here, maybe this will help you. So if we deduce the
horizon, straw man, because you can't see the geometric horizon. Where is the apparent horizon, and what is the predicted apparent horizon for that observation?
Okay, we don't need your predictions because we're sitting here looking at what the observation was, correct? So
if you're going to go with a logical claim, you need to get the prediction correct, okay? So don't bring a fallacy prediction in place, right? A fallacy prediction puts the entire thing in away. You don't get to use it if it's a fallacy, right? So if you're going to tell me what the apparent horizon is going to be, you need to correctly predict the apparent horizon. You can't use the geometric horizon and then say, that's what we should see for the apparent horizon. They're not the same thing. Predict the apparent horizon, not the geometric horizon when you're doing that test.
Okay, I don't think you're understanding the argument here, or you're being dishonest. So I'm going to continue.
Bring up that Otis.
If you don't mind,
Otis Tollens. Let's see it.
If you don't mind, shh, and let me finish, please. Okay, thank you. So at 1 foot observer height, based on the radius of the Earth that you are claiming, which we have established is 3,959 miles, deduced from the circumference of 24,901 miles, you then can formulate a geometric horizon. The geometric horizon, a physical, tangible, literal horizon that drops off because of the sphere going down and away from you because of geometry, should be no further than 1.2 miles. In this meme, we have given you 5 feet. The maximum distance to the geometric horizon should be 2.73 miles. Now, it doesn't really matter what you say about it. That is objective math based on your model. We are looking at all the way to 6 and 9 miles.
Without clear, I will agree. That is the measurements to the geometric horizon.
So cut straight to the chase. Are you saying there's a geometric horizon here, and where is it at, MCtoon?
You've looped on this how many times? We don't see the geometric horizon. We see the apparent horizon, which is different.
So the geometric horizon is clearly not here.
I keep saying that, and you keep wanting to try to pin that on.
Okay, so that's a concession.
Pin that on me. That's a straw man.
No, that's a concession. I'll take it. You just conceded there isn't a physical geometric horizon in the image.
We don't see the geometric horizon. We see.
Okay, now you're not conceding.
So don't put words in my mouth. Don't straw man me. We see the apparent horizon. We do not see the geometric horizon. Your calculations are for the geometric horizon. So stop calculating the geometric horizon and calculate the apparent horizon, and then see if it matches.
The geometric horizon has to be there, MCtoon. This is your religion, not mine. I know there isn't a radius of the Earth, okay? You're the one that has to claim that, and you have to stand behind the radius. Do you understand the physicality of the argument here? There's a physicality of the argument. You are trying to hand wave dismissal it. It is not going to work, Okay, you've said the encompassing term refraction. I've asked you to specify there are different types of refraction. Then you threw a little fit saying you don't want to talk about the different types of refraction.
I've done more than just categorize the particular type of refraction. I've gone way past that. I've addressed it using the coefficient of refraction. I've talked about lapse rate. All this is way past the simple categories of refraction.
No, it's an explanation of why refraction. Listen, bro, this will help you. This will help you maybe. Refraction isn't a sufficient answer because refraction is relative to the horizon. You are claiming that that horizon is being eliminated from the view and shot back to behind the platforms. Okay, so that's a new type of refraction unknown to the world.
Are you claiming that refraction cannot affect the horizon?
No, but it is not nearly what we see in this image. Now, is it, MCtoon?
What do you mean nearly?
Actually, no, of course. I am not claiming that the refraction cannot. Of course it can. That's all the horizon is. It's an apparent horizon. Your belief is there's a physical horizon, MCtoon.
You're strawmanning me again. We see the apparent horizon, not the physical horizon.
No. I'm not strawmanning you. Do you believe there's a physical geometric horizon and that we live on a ball?
Yeah, but we don't see it.
We don't see it.
We see the apparent horizon.
And it makes the geometric horizon disappear.
We don't see. Stop. That's just
you
such
don't
a.
Seem to understand it, MCtoon.
The geometric. We see the apparent. And then it's possible that we could see the same one, but typically that would require no atmosphere.
Okay, so I don't see how much more layman's terms I can present this. I think I've done it pretty much every way, but it's very simple. Your explanation isn't sufficient. Anyone with above 100 IQ right now knows that, okay? There's a physical horizon. You're claiming that you don't see it and that there's only the apparent horizon. Are you conceding that there is no physical geometric horizon? Are you saying that it's there? If you're saying,
don't see the physical horizon. You've looped on this so many times.
Let's just move on. It's a concession, okay?
Stop. I'm not conceding that the geometric horizon is what we see, and you're trying to pin that on me, and that's a straw man.
No. This is what I know. This horizon right here, brother, that's just the apparent horizon because that's all the horizon is. It's the apparent horizon. Actually, that's a redundant phrasing there, okay? So all it is the appearance of the sky meeting the ground. That's what we all know. Flat earthers know this. We don't have to lie about reality and bend it into something that it's not. You're doing a dance right now that you're trying to defend your religion. You're trying to say it's refraction, but I don't want to specify it. I don't have to cite it. I don't have to know exactly what type of refraction it is. I don't have to explain that there's a physical horizon there that's MIA. I just, you didn't take into account. Can I move away from it? Okay, but simply this is a death blow. It's irrefutable to your model. You've done a very good job of proving you don't understand the argument or you're being dishonest.
Evidence with empirical measured evidence, and you have just dismissed it because it's a little uncomfortable for you.
Okay, you self-project a lot, MCtoon, but so I think that we all know you can't understand it. It's very simple. There is no explanation. It's no big deal. The apparent horizon is the only type of horizon that there is. The horizon is inherently apparent due to perception and different factors of refraction and atmospheric conditions. That's why it varies from day to day, because it is an apparent location. Your model necessitates a physical location. It doesn't matter how much you want to ignore that. That is objective.
Yeah, there is a physical horizon, absolutely, and we don't see it though, unfortunately. So,
why?
Because refraction modifies the path of light.
You saying the refraction's taking the physical location, making it be invisible to the viewer, and then sending it back behind the 9-mile structure.
No. What's happening is more of the water is being brought to us because of refraction. So the light goes up from the horizon, from the water, right? And then it curves, matching the radius of the Earth around the curve to the observer. This is simple geometry, and it's math. So
it's simple geometry. Okay, yeah. MCtoon, you've done a sufficient job of not answering the question, bro. I always leave it up to the third party. You know, like, I can't make you be honest, bro.
So I think MCtoon has answered the question. If Austin has a response to that, we can let him respond. If not, I think that it would be a good idea to move on.
Okay, yeah, sure. Of course, this always wants to be moved on from, and we can move on. I think I've done a very thorough job of demonstrating that you're shucking and jiving, being dishonest. You have not even clarified your response with any specificity. You haven't even explained what type of refraction it is. You're trying to hand-wave dismiss it from the beginning, saying that you don't like the factors involved. Of course you don't. The factors dismiss your entire religion. So this is a concession, whether you know it or not. It's cool. I know that you don't like that word, but
I
you
don't
have
appreciate
literally
that straw man, but I understand why you need to do it.
Okay, so we'll move on. But in conclusion, very simply, based on the radius of the Earth, there has to be a geometric physical arrival.
One thing that I'm going to do, if we're going to move on, because Austin has had the last two points to bring up, I think it would be a good idea to let MCtoon bring up a point.
Okay, yeah, and I brought up one point. He's brought up like 7 different experiments and proofs, but I don't really care. He can go on.
Yeah, I showed measurements of Earth rotation, measurements of Earth's radius, and curve. So I've brought up 3. So maybe, yeah, I would I'd say, why don't Austin, why don't you bring up like some measurements of flatness or something?
Okay, well, that was funny. So anyway, I'm pretty sure I very clearly stated I don't know a definitive model. You're the one claiming to know what the Earth is. In fact, you are the one claiming definitive measurements. So anyway, let's just move on.
Now, I have heard you say it's flat on your own stream.
All observation shows that it's flat, right?
Okay,
because
so maybe you have some observations.
No, I don't have to give you observations, bro. I just took a nap. I woke up and I came to dismantle your religion casually, bro. You've already done it for me.
Perfect. You don't have observations, so you have no evidence to support.
Yeah, sure. Here, I got some evidence, bro. I'll show you the video, man. You want to just play the video? Do you want me to play a video? I don't really think that I think you know that there's observations that show that we see too far. You're just sitting here hoping that I don't have some way to show it. Okay, you're the one that has to, you're not understanding. This is why I don't like to play y'all's games, bro, because you're the one making the positive claim about what the Earth is definitively. I'm just saying that I know the current model's wrong, provably. So you technically, literally are making the positive claim, okay? So you're trying to divert the way to some straw man model of mine. I do
a lot of evidence for that. So
what?
So it's your turn. Go ahead. You're kind of, I don't know why you're not like showing your evidence.
This is very desperate of you, man, to act like this. So anyway, again, I'm trying to clarify here. I know you don't like it, but it doesn't really matter. You are claiming a definitive model, brother. I'm not, okay? I'm not. I don't know exactly what the Earth is. It's called being intellectually honest. You claim that you do most definitely know, so you're having to substantiate your positive claim of the sphericity and the movement of the Earth inside this heliocentric model. We can move on because I can show the flaws in all of it. Okay, so very simply, you think that we live on a globe and that Earth is a near perfect vacuum. Would you agree with that?
What's a near perfect vacuum?
Space.
Sure.
Okay, how do you agree that the natural antecedent to gas pressure is containment?
Oh, could you support that claim, please?
That pressure needs containment. Yeah, it's in the word press up on the container.
No, not through a dictionary, but actually through some sort of a, where is the statement that
pressure
demands a containment?
Well, all observation shows that, so you would have to.
No. You're just making a claim. You're just making an assertion.
Okay.
So okay. What is the actual Where
if I blow air into a balloon,
then?
If I blow air into a balloon, does it need to be a balloon to hold the air in it, MCtoon?
Yeah, that's one example. You've said it's the necessary antecedent. So you've made an assertion. So support that assertion.
Okay. Do you know what that word means? It's the natural or necessary antecedent to gas.
That's a dictionary thing. So
Listen, man, I'm claiming a definitive physical law. If you're saying it's not true, all you have to do is provide one example of it not being true, and then I'm wrong.
You'll have some citations for this then. Okay, let's see. Post them.
Are you disputing that pressure requires containment, MCtoon?
Pressure requires containment. I'll take that, yes.
Okay. Does the Earth's atmosphere have gas pressure?
It has atmospheric pressure.
Okay. Is
Yes.
there gas in the atmosphere, MCtoon?
Yeah. So there is containment, and it is gravity.
Okay. So is there a physical barrier of containment, or it's just this mystical deified force?
There is no physical barrier.
Right. And now we can go on to your magical force and it can be dismantled as well. But what I'm trying to say is, can you provide any example in natural world where pressure doesn't require containment?
Absolutely. If
Physical
you want to,
containment?
I'm sharing my screen right now.
Um,
All right. So this is here a video by Dwayne Kellum. And you can see here on the screen, he has a few different things. Wednesday, July 24, 2019. On the far right, you see barometric pressure, and it's in inches of mercury, which is 29.88 inches mercury. So this is on the ground. This is just before launch, or as they're about to launch. So yeah, you can see here it's going up, right? Now I'll skip ahead a little bit here. You can see now the pressure's down to 12.8. Now, you can review this footage if you want. You'll find that between the ground and this level, there were no physical containers that it went through. If we can pop further in here, we can see the pressure is now 2.73. We can go farther. 0.27 is the pressure. Now, you can review this footage, and from the ground all the way up to here, there is no physical barrier that it went through.
all the way up to
what is causing that difference in pressure?
The dissipation of the pressure is relevant to how much gas is being introduced at the surface level.
Introduced at the surface level?
So
like over a rainforest, maybe. Is that what you're talking about? Like the trees are introducing pressure, air?
Yes, MCtoon.
Okay. And then over the, say, the desert, maybe, the same amount of pressure is there, and so the same amount of gas must be appearing.
Okay. You don't seem to even understand this, but I'm not going to let you do this. Are you effectively answering my question with questions?
Well, yeah, actually, I'm asking because there is this difference in pressure. You talked about a physical container, and I showed that there does not need to be a physical container.
Wait, when did you show that? Can you give us an experiment of there not needing to be?
This video right here. So down low, near the ground, 28.63 inches of mercury. Up at altitude, 0.26 inches of mercury, a much lower pressure, and
much lower what, MCtoon?
much lower pressure.
Okay,
and
no existent there. It's still there.
What's that?
Is the pressure? So there is still pressure there, correct?
Still pressure there, yes.
Okay, so that doesn't answer the question. So can you explain why the natural antecedent for pressure is containment, but you claim the Earth is not contained?
Well, I just showed you that there is a pressure.
You just showed me
physical containment, right? Without a physical barrier. Yeah.
You're definitely once again imposing that there isn't some physical barrier. It's called a presupposition. I'm asking you to substantiate your presupposition.
We can see there's no barrier because you can watch the video and there is no like container that it went through.
So your proof for there not needing to be containment is something going to a high elevation where there's still pressure?
Well, there's never a place where there's no pressure.
I don't need to know about the characteristics of your religion, MCtoon. I'm asking you a simple, basic, fundamental law of the natural world. The natural antecedent of pressure is containment. Can you provide any form of observation or experiment in which it shows that pressure can exist without container?
Right here, this one I just showed you. You asked that twice, and I've shown it's the same answer.
No, you're presupposing the nature of space and that there isn't a container and there's still pressure present in your experiment. So can you once again answer the question being asked?
So in my model, there is no point where the pressure is 0. There is always positive pressure. So just like on here at 0.26 inches of mercury, as you continue to go up, measurements have identified that it continues to reduce in pressure.
Okay. What happens if there's high pressure next to low pressure?
With lacking a force, they will equalize.
Okay, so high pressure will migrate to the low pressure?
Yes, but somehow, where this balloon is, it didn't happen. Strange.
It's still within the containment, MCtoon.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. There's another concession. Okay.
So yeah, the downward force is still containing it.
Oh, so you want to shuck and jive to the downward force? I'm more than happy to do so, bro. But are you conceding that there has to be containment for pressure, or can you provide an example?
I already said, and you seem to like go over these things over and over once I've said them. There is something containing the air.
You don't seem to understand the reason that this conversation is so reiterative and remedial is because you're shucking and jiving.
Yeah, you're trying to get me to concede something, and you're trying to get me to follow your script. I'm not going to do that, right? There is a containment, right? Something is containing the air, and it's not physical, because this video shows very clearly that there's no physical barrier near the ground where it's 28 inches of mercury to up high where it's 0.16 inches of mercury. There is something that's happening there and something pulling it down. And as you said, according to the second law of thermodynamics, the pressure will equalize, and it will happen fast and violently. This type of air pressure, without a force holding it, causing it to happen, it would very quickly equalize, but it doesn't.
Wrong. I already answered that, because there's constantly gas being introduced to the system. It's a closed dynamic system.
Where is the measurements of this massive quantity of gas being introduced and it going up high and then disappearing or something? You have measurements of that or something, or are you just asserting that because you've made lots of assertions? You're good
they're
at
all
that.
factual, my man.
Yeah. Okay. Then if it's factual, then you'll have evidence to support your assertion.
Are you disputing gases being created at the surface level of the Earth?
I'm disputing the quantity that you're claiming.
I haven't claimed a quantity, my man. You're the one big on numbers.
There are that many.
What?
So you are presupposing there's so much gas pressure, gas being generated near the surface that at 120,000 feet, there's nothing there.
Did you just say the word presupposed, bro? I asked you what the natural I said.
No, that's your word. Sorry.
That was funny. So I asked you, how do you explain that the natural antecedent to pressure is containment? You then showed me some footage of something going up high in the air and the gas pressure being a little bit lower. And I'm asking you, well, that pressure still present doesn't require containment. Okay, this is a natural law. You would have to provide some form of evidence.
There is containment. Absolutely, there's containment.
Oh, so the Earth is contained.
The air pressure is being contained by a force.
Okay, so this pressure on Earth doesn't require containment because of this mystical force.
I just said it is contained.
No, a physical container.
Correct. It does not require a physical.
Okay, can this be recreated on Earth?
Sure, you can see it in the video right here.
No, you're presupposing the nature of the Earth. I'm asking you to recreate it. You're presupposing that there is no container. Do you not see what you're doing? This doesn't answer the question. You're presupposing it's called begging the question, MCtoon. That's all you've done this whole time. You're begging the question, bro.
This is empirical evidence right here. There was no barrier that this went through to get down to this very low pressure.
But very low what? We're going in circles. There's still pressure there. So it doesn't matter how you spin this. There's still pressure in your observation where it's at. I'm saying that the pressure cannot exist without containment. You are begging the question, and you're presupposing, and you're diverting.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Do we need, if you go get air pressure in your tire, do you need the rim in the tire to put the air in it?
Yeah,
that's what I'm asking you.
That's a different there's no force doing that there.
Okay, so again, you're saying this is the only one time in the natural observable phenomena of the universe where we don't need containment for pressure. Can you provide an experiment that can substantiate that that is even possible?
Right here on screen.
You aren't understanding the tune. You're presupposing the nature of the earth. It's called begging the question.
What is being presupposed? You asked for an experiment where there is air pressure that's without a container, and this is it right here. We can see.
No, it isn't. You're presupposing there's no container, MCtoon.
Well, where's the container then?
Above it.
Where?
Why are you asking me
a container, actually?
I don't know exactly where everything is, MCtoon. I know that this is a basic natural law. If you're questioning it or challenging it, you then have to be able to substantiate it. You are presupposing that there isn't containment and then saying, look, it's low pressure up here. That is retarded.
I said there is containment.
Okay, physical container. Stop playing semantics. This is wizardry.
Oh yeah, you keep doing that. So
this is bad, bro.
So there is obviously no physical container between the ground and here to have that reduction in pressure. So here's the deal. In space, it just continues, right? So down at now on screen is 0.16 millimeters of mercury, right? As you go higher and higher, it has been measured to continue to reduce in pressure so that when you get 400 kilometers up, 1,000 kilometers up, the pressure is extremely small. That's it.
Yeah, but there's still pressure. We're asking, how is it possible an ever-expanding infinite vacuum would be linear to a pressurized system? The natural antecedent to gas pressure is containment.
Physical again. But you won't actually support this assertion that the natural antecedent thing. Where is that? I know you heard Nathan Thompson say it, but where is the actual law that isn't from Nathan Thompson's mouth?
Okay, all observation shows that for gas pressure to exist, there has to be container. Okay, so if you're saying that isn't true, then we provide evidence for that fact. Everything else provides evidence for my facts. I'm not playing your games. If I
just asserting it
needs a container. If I put gas into a box, it needs the box. Okay, you're saying that isn't the case. Can you provide an example? One single example will suffice, MCtoon. And this is not one, obviously.
Just a second.
Thank you.
Somebody's messaging me. I have another guy coming at 10, and I think he thinks he's on a different time zone or something. So, all right. So I asked you made an assertion that the natural antecedent thing but you haven't supported that. You just said lots of more assertions. So do you have that? Because I haven't heard that as a natural law before. So could you show that natural law where somebody else is stating it?
It's pretty simple, bro. If you're challenging my assertion that gas pressure needs a container, can you just provide one singular example of this not being true, and then my claim would be wrong?
Okay, so you're going to just deflect from that assertion and just demand that it be true.
This is painful, man. This is why I almost didn't agree to do it.
You haven't supported your claim. You're saying the natural antecedent. I say it again. How does
the natural antecedent to gas pressure is containment?
Yeah, and so I agreed to containment.
Physical containment.
Oh, physical. Okay, so where is that stated other than just your statement or Nathan Thompson's statement?
In the definition of pressure.
Okay, so post it.
Okay. What? Oh my God. No, MCtoon, I'm not Googling for you, bro. Here's what I'm saying.
Okay, so you don't have evidence to support your...
Okay, so you're saying pressure doesn't need containment?
It does not need physical containment.
Can you provide one example of being able to do that in an experiment? And then I'm wrong. That's all you got to do. One singular experiment. I can do millions of experiments proving that it does need containment. So can you just provide one that would prove that I'm wrong, please?
Yeah, just a second.
You keep trying to turn the tables like, bro, you're the one claiming that it doesn't need physical containment. Substantiate that claim.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, here it is. It's on the screen right now.
That is presupposing there is no containment above this location. That is called begging the question.
But why is there a difference in pressure?
I've already explained this.
Yeah, and you've asserted it without evidence.
No, you're trying to divert away from the very simple question being postulated.
Yeah, yeah. So you've made the assertion that there is near the ground lots of new air being created. And so what happens, because the second law of thermodynamics demands that lacking a force, it will equalize, and it's not equalizing. So what is causing it to not equalize?
So again, you are diverting, and I'm not going to be a part of it. Okay, this is why I almost didn't even agree. So I'm going to ask you again. I'm saying that there is a container for pressure. That's what all observable phenomena says. You're denying it. You have to.
So you say you don't have a model, but you do. It's flat, and there's a container. That's your model.
No, that's just natural phenomenon, my man. I accept observations. You do not. Can you provide an experiment where
now there are places. So if you're familiar with how they do enrichment of uranium, they use fluorine. So what is it? Sodium, not sodium. Uranium hexafluoride, which is a gas, and they put it in a centrifuge and they spin it. So it's a gas in a centrifuge. And what happens is on the outside of it, the heavier atoms go to the outside and the lighter atoms go to the middle. And they pull those out and they put that into the next centrifuge, spin it again, next centrifuge, they spin it again. And that's how they enrich the uranium. They want the lighter uranium. And so after they've done that many, many times, then they have enrichment. So the cool thing is, though, that is a spinning centrifuge that causes a centrifugal force and thus creating a difference in pressure.
Okay. Was that pressure without a physical barrier of containment somewhere outside of the experiment?
From the perimeter of the centrifuge to the center of the centrifuge, there's a difference in pressure.
Okay, what's outside of this experiment? What's outside of this reaction? A physical barrier in the tune. We all know it.
So okay. So you still haven't substantiated that you've just asserted that you have to have this, and you absolutely won't back up your assertion. And I know why, because you just parroted it from somebody else. So that's fine. I kind of expect that. So, all right, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to say it again. You're not diverting, bro. So you're going to have to leave the stream, or you're going to keep getting the same thing, because even the moderator has to be honest and admit you aren't answering the question. You're trying to turn the tables onto me. Okay. So what I'm saying is the natural antecedent to gas pressure is containment. You're saying it's not substantiated with observation. Observation coincides with my assertion.
It's an assertion. And if you're not going to support that there must be a physical barrier, then you don't have an assertion.
Okay, if I blow air into a balloon, it's being contained and having pressure because of the physical container of the balloon. Can you explain to me how that could happen without a physical container?
There's a physical container in that example, yes.
Okay, in all examples of their pressure, there's a container. You're saying that isn't true. So can you explain, provide one? I provided my example, which I could do forever, of course. Now, can you provide one singular time that gas pressure exists without containment?
Yeah, it's on the screen right now. It's Dwayne Kellum's video, his 24th video where he says he sees stars.
I'm losing brain cells doing this. So
pretty cool.
Okay, yeah, we've already addressed very rudimentary. That's begging the question. You're assuming and presupposing that there isn't a barrier, and you're just saying, "Oh, look, the pressure got lower and it got higher." Well, thanks for enlightening us, MCtoon.
You're presupposing there is a barrier, though, and there is
the natural law of gas.
It's obvious there is not a barrier from the ground up to the high level there, and that is what continues, right? So at 1,000 kilometers, the pressure is much, much, much less. And this has been empirically measured because we've had things at that elevation. So, but and then you sort of some other stuff about air getting created, but you won't back that up either.
Okay, can you concede the point here, or are you going to just keep doing this?
I will not concede that there is a containment to that pressure, and it is not physical.
No. Okay, well, what I'm asking you, my man, is can you provide an observation that shows that pressure can exist without containment? That is not fit those parameters. You're presupposing that there isn't a container. It's called begging the question fallacy.
You're begging the question fallacy is presupposing that there is a container.
No, I'm stating a very simple, observable natural phenomena that all pressure requires containment.
You're asserting, not stating, you're asserting.
Okay, can you provide one piece of contradictory evidence?
It's called ipsi-dixit, an assertion made but not proved.
All observable phenomena coincides with it. I thought nothing could be proved, MCtoon. Anyway, we all know that's nonsense. So all observations show that pressure requires containment. If you're challenging that assertion, all it requires is one singular demonstration where pressure can exist without containment. You failed to do so so
and
far.
I've done it already. That Dwayne Cullum has a fantastic video showing that there is no containment from level to level. It's not going through different membranes as it goes up higher to different levels, and there isn't this violent rushing of air to equalize as the second law of thermodynamics demands, lacking a force.
Okay, no, there are alternative explanations for the way the atmosphere behaves. So you are diluting the conversation per usual. So you just concede that you don't have an example.
You're going to back that up, or you're going to just make an assertion and then walk away from it?
Wait, what are you saying that I should back up?
You asserted that there are other explanations.
Yeah, this is really what you want to do, but you're going to have to be honest and concede that you don't have it before I will play your little game. Will you concede that you don't have an observation you can present that would provide?
No, I just presented it, the Dwayne Cullum video.
You're presupposing that it isn't contained. This is getting very reiterative.
There's no container. You can see in the video there's no containers. It's not going through different containers as it goes up. So I think
what's happening here is you guys are both sort of speaking past each other.
Oh no, he's just not answering the question, man.
So do you want to move on to Q&A? Or do you want to continue with another topic or something?
Yeah, I think this has been pretty sufficient. I mean, I'll wrap it up with a conclusion, and then we can move on. Because I think maybe people are. I know you like to get wizardry on us, right? So recap. He could not explain the black swan. Of course he can't. There is no explanation for all the viewers, just so you know. It's a literal death blow to the globe model. There is no explanation because the spherical nature of the Earth necessitates a geometric horizon imposed by the radius, okay, that is not there. You cannot observe it. It's because it isn't there. The horizon is nothing more than apparent. He did nothing but shuck and jive, say refraction, not even actually claim or cite what type of refraction it was, and then he shucked and jived it, okay? He shucked and jived the movement when I said him, oh, there is an independent frame of reference to prove or substantiate the axial rotation. He shucked and jived it. I asked him about the natural antecedent to pressure being containment. He shucked and jived it for the last 20 minutes. Everyone has seen it. That's only 3 of the points dismantling your religion. And so this is what was expected to happen. I asked you beforehand if you were open-minded, if you'd be honest about the concessions. Clearly, you've demonstrated that isn't the case. But again, I'll leave this up to the third-party viewers.
Okay. Well, thank you. I completely explained using measurements, empirical measurements, and previously done experiments, how the black swan, so-called observation, is completely within the predictions of the globe model. I showed 5 detailed and rigorous measurements of the radius of the Earth, as well as several different confirmations of this curve of the Earth, on mctoon.net/curve. And the gas pressure here is completely predicted using gravity and the second law of thermodynamics. So lots of evidence that I showed, and not so much, a little from Austin. And so I'll say it again: when you double down in the face of contradictory evidence and you cannot rebuttal the evidence, you're just exposing the flaw in your side. A very wise statement. So
yeah, premier version of it, that's a perfect example of inversion and self-projection, also known as wizardry in my book, because that's what you did this whole time.
So do you want to do some questions?
Sure, bro.
Okay, so I've got we won't spend a lot of time on each question because they will right, but we'll take turns, right? I'll ask one from my audience to you, and if you have maybe some super chats from your people, you could ask them to me if you want. So but let's just try to keep each to like a minute answer, just to be fair, because I don't know about you, but I got a bunch of super chats, a bunch of questions people asking. So let's see. If so Sean Hawkins says, if Austin can't quantify ether, how can he say it exists?
Okay, you cannot quantify the immaterial. So ether is postulated to be the absolute frame of reference, a universal background. It's a force field, a field of force. It's immaterial. You cannot quantify the immaterial. Dumb question.
All right, you got one. You got one for me?
No, you got this, man. I don't think that my people have any questions for you. They've seen you don't answer questions.
Seriously? All right. Well, people, if you have questions, send him a super chat. I appreciate Austin very much here. So
you don't have to super chat it. Just ask a question that you want to.
Three Ron says Austin has zero idea what a humble is. Well, that's not a question. Hold on. I'll stick to questions. People who can't figure out that MC is not Mick shouldn't throw stones.
I don't call people that can't even rap MC. Why would I call you the nonsense?
Don't want me to rap. I'm telling you, it's bad news.
I believe it, bro. I'm not disputing that. I think we agree on something for the first time tonight.
All right, here. GPS asks, how does GPS work?
Oh my gosh! So you're asking me to explain something based on a model that you're presupposing for me. That's weird. I thought we already covered that, but there's plenty of ways that it could work. Sat-to-loons, underground wires. 99% of transmissions are used with towers and underground wires. Next.
All right. Somebody buy Austin a sandwich. Apparently, you need a sandwich. Let's see. All right. Oh, King Kong Sex Dungeon. That was a little mean. He said, Austin, do you like meth? I don't think that's fair.
Look at the gamma male behind his keyboard.
Let's see. All right. Anybody in the chat have any questions for him? Tag me. All
right, I got a question. Someone's asked me to give you a question. All right. Ask MCtoon where are his variables to prove his refractive conditions. Specifics, please.
The variables for the refractive conditions on which exactly? I guess for if we're to look at the refractive index for the coefficient of refraction is really the key. We got a couple. For like the theodolite viewing. So those have been at elevations, those have been measured for quite a while ago. Gauss did it. And he uses 0.13 is what he found. Now, that was high elevation to high elevation. The U.S. Geological Society uses 0.17 for their coefficient of refraction. Either's fine. They have slightly different margins of error when you do that. And but they do have when surveyors do vertical measurements, especially, they look for overcast days with calm weather, so that helps a lot. So my goodness, a bunch of questions came in.
You just said something about measured variables, bro, but what are they? That was the question. He asked, what are the variables?
What are the variables? So when a coefficient of refraction is is a compound, the result of a compound measurement, right? It's not, you can calculate it and you can measure it. And so you measure it with the reciprocal zenith angles by pointing two theodolites at each other, and the angle that they point at each other gives you the coefficient of refraction. It's based on the arc of the radius. The radius is the arc of the light between them. A 2.0 is about a 4,000 mile arc radius.
Okay, I got another question that they want me to ask you. Does water seek its own level?
Yes, it does.
Except for this ball Earth, correct? It bends around this magical ball Earth.
Well, if you let's see, mctoon.net/level, you'll find out that level has been defined as a curve for centuries.
All right, stop promoting your website, bro. We get it.
Well, I don't get any ad revenue. I do it just for free information for people. So, let's see. Austin, how did the celebrities faking their deaths and going to the hidden lands at the poles? How about the celebrities faking their deaths and going to the hidden lands at the poles?
I don't know anything about what actually happens. That's a dumb question because I have had speculative conversations because I'm a real one.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if there's more land. We've been lied to about the nature of this Earth. So how would I know exactly what it is? So if we've been lied to about the Earth and you just refuse to break out of your indoctrinated bubble to even entertain that possibility long enough to see that your religion cannot hold its own, then how does that make me a crazy person for speculating about what we don't know? So, okay, next.
Okay. You got one?
No, man. I think
right.
everyone sees you don't like to answer questions, bro.
What are the internal angles of a triangle with sides measuring 1, 1, and 1? From Curtis Reynolds.
Sorry, what'd you say?
What are the internal angles of a triangle with sides measuring 1, 1, and 1?
Not playing your game.
Sorry, Curtis. Fantorang is wondering what's 5 divided by 0?
Not playing your game. You think I don't know where these questions come from? Or y'all are, it's so funny. Why are we talking about 5 divided by 0? You can't substantiate curvature or axial rotation, guys. That means it's not moving and it's not a ball. That's a little bit bigger here.
Why does the Tropic of Capricorn measure smaller than the equator? Yet, if it were a flat Earth, it should be roughly 2,000 miles larger around.
Oh, yet if it was your presupposed flat Earth map that you have deduced your metrics from? Okay. That's retarded.
No map. No map. Okay.
It has nothing to do with yours not being real, McToon.
Well, it works. And this flight chart, oh, it's kind of covered by your thing there. But my flight charts that did a... for Flat Out Hero was a good one. I still got them on the wall there.
The model works because it was all derived from the observations. Okay, so
exactly, and they work, and it's a sphere. So okay,
this is embarrassing.
God, 940. So
I think we've pretty substantially dismantled your religion in lifetime, my man.
Sure. Oh, hold on. Austin incompletely explained GPS by saying satelloons, which are passive reflector satellites. Can he finish explaining how the rest works?
99% of transmissions come through wires and underground towers or underground wires.
Wires, that's transmissions. That's not GPS.
Okay, you can triangulate the position with the transmissions, McToon.
The transmissions. So the wire, the fiber optic cables going underneath the oceans, we can triangulate how?
I don't know, and I also don't know how that makes the Earth a ball.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Well, if satellites are orbiting the Earth and they are in the location that the GPS receiver gets, then that's tough because it's a 3-dimensional space. So
Well, I just explained to you about the satelloons. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and explain to you all of that. You haven't even researched it, and I'm biased, or you're a shill. So either way, I know this isn't my job to teach you, man. Okay, like
I want to be a shill.
The reason I'm saying that, bro, is because you're not being honest, bro. I gave you a fair opportunity. You've proven yourself to just be intellectually dishonest this whole time, bro. It's exhausting. So it's all good. Do you have any more questions? I think we pretty sufficiently Handle this.
All right, I'll give you one more. Is Bob from Globebusters an engineer?
As far as I
what
know.
that's about. Okay.
Why is someone bringing up? Okay, y'all are pathetic. All right. Anyway, I think this has been pretty sufficiently handled. I've answered your little trollers questions from the Toon Squad.
Let's see. Pageos1, Pageos1 was a satelloon that was used to measure the shape and size of the Earth. Thank you, Stringer News 1. Interesting. Should look that up. All right. Well, yeah. Yeah, I think we can probably wrap it up here and move on. Thank you for your time, Austin. Thank you to your audience for listening. Maybe you can peruse some of the evidence that I put up on my website there and see if there's any truth to that. So, and with that, I'm gonna disconnect here and I'll talk to my audience a little bit, and you can do what you want. So, sound good?
Yeah, man.
All right. Thank you. We'll catch you later.
Yep. Well, that was fun, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I maybe wasn't very patient. Like, that's just really frustrating. And I just woke up. I think I'm going to end this, though, and then maybe we could go live and talk about it a little after show. Let me see what's going on here. Whoa. Well, thank you for the super chat, Gunnar Hegg. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Lumberjack. That is insane. I appreciate that very much. And thank you for the super chat, Maximus Decimus. Why are there so many dead spots with cell phones? Yeah, because, well, satellites aren't real. So there's so many comments on here, man. Thanks, everybody. I'm just going to end this, and then I'll take a little break, and then I'll go live to have a little conversation with y'all after the fact if y'all want to do that. But yeah, this was a thorough demonstration of how pathetic their religion is, right? So for whoever's watching it back, you just saw that when presented with evidence, all they can do is divert and shuck and jive and use presuppositions and not even fully interpret the conversation and beg the question. And it's because, bro, the Earth isn't a ball. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. The Earth isn't a ball. How could you possibly prove it was a ball if it isn't a ball? So yeah, guys, thank you everybody for joining and supporting. I'll probably go live here in like 5-10 minutes on my channel with a separate stream to recap. But I just want to kind of keep this this upload where it's just the debate. So yeah, like we always say, unplug from the box. We can only show you the box. It's up to you to unplug. And much love.